Welcome to the Rise of Immortals Immortal Spotlight. Today we will be evaluating one of our tournament fighters, Psychozen, Master of Minds. Psychozen is a physical damage support character whose abilities focus on disabling enemy immortals and supporting his team. Psychozen's ranged abilities allow him to silence enemy casters, slow down enemies, and his healing is always a factor during a teamfight. He is most valuable as a support immortal that specializes in shutting down enemies who pose a threat to a fragile ally. In order to fulfill his role, Psychozen's item build should be tailored to suit his needs as a disabler and healing class. At the beginning of the game, buy a Lyta Locket and some health and mana potions. Upgrade the Lyta Locket for the powerful on-cast ability as soon as possible. As the game progresses, Psychozen will need Wildrunner's Boots, Torpid's Wand, and a Destroyer's Mantle. To finish off Psychozen's itemization, buy a Necklace of Tears and Mage Slayer's Gloves. Psychozen's first ability is Infectious Cerebrum. Psychozen infects his target's mind, dealing damage every second and slowing the enemy's movement speed for 3 seconds. Infectious Cerebrum is Psychozen's primary tool for chasing down enemies and gives him an excellent way to harass enemy immortals in laning phase. Psychozen's second ability is Limbic Disorder. Psychozen attacks his target's mind, dealing initial damage and silencing the target for 3 seconds. Immortals targeted by Limbic Disorder have their armor reduced for 6 seconds. Limbic Disorder is one of the longest silences in the game, and Psychozen's main ability to counter enemy caster immortals. During lane phase, when used in combination with Infectious Cerebrum, Psychozen can deal large harass damage without allowing the enemy a chance to retaliate. Hypothalamic Transmute is Psychozen's third ability. Hypothalamic Transmute heals the most damaged ally and damages the most injured enemy nearby with a targeting preference for immortals. If an enemy is dealt damage this way, Psychozen heals for half the damage dealt. Hypothalamic Transmute is the main support ability that makes Psychozen an absolute menace to deal with while in lane. The ability to simultaneously deal damage and heal his ally can make Psychozen very difficult to force out of lane and makes him very dangerous. Psychozen should try to make the most out of each cast early in the game when his mana pool is weakest. Psychozen's ultimate ability is Neocortex Diversion. Psychozen begins spawning clones of himself repeatedly for a short duration. During this time, Psychozen is also invisible unless he casts a spell or attacks. The clones deal damage and will attack nearby targets. This ability is one of the most versatile in the game. The ability is simultaneously a DPS increase, defensive cooldown, and powerful escape mechanism. This ability is especially good at taking down undefended towers as the clones stack up and start dealing tremendous damage, but be careful of using them too early in teamfights as they are very susceptible to area damage abilities. Psychozen's signature ability is Telepathic Blight. Psychozen unleashes a powerful blast of telepathic energy around him. All allies in the area are healed, and all enemies in the area are slowed, silenced, and dealt damage for a short duration. This ability gives Psychozen and his team a huge advantage during the late-game teamfight battles. Between healing your allies and crippling your enemy's offensive capabilities, it can turn even the most lopsided fights around. Psychozen excels in a dual lane by harassing opponents and preventing them from dealing damage to him and his ally. Psychozen's Hypothalamic Transmute becomes more efficient since the healing does not go to waste, and should be used whenever you can deal damage to an enemy champion while also healing you or your ally. Throughout all phases of the game, Psychozen excels at peeling or catching individual enemies, and should be looking to get into smaller skirmishes to maximize his effectiveness. Psychozen is a support caster who is heavily reliant on his abilities. Make sure to upgrade them via the champion tree while progressing toward the extremely powerful signature. In order to maximize Psychozen's usefulness early game, pick up mana regeneration totems, armor penetration talismans, movement speed seals, health and mana symbols, and a cooldown reduction relic. And that concludes this week's Immortal Spotlight. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. To learn more about Rise of Immortals, visit signup.riseofimmortals.com to download and play the game today for free.